Hey boys and girls, Doug Giles here. It's Warriors Rich
and Wildmen. What's happening, Doug? Practicing my intro. Watch out.
Man, you like
Alec Baldwin, man.
Woo! You're like Yosemite Sam, man.
Yeah. Like six guns blazing.
Hey, so I'm doing fine and dandy. Hope you're well.
Doing great.
The other day, man, I don't know if you sent it to me or I discovered it all on my lonesome, but somebody did. It's a little clip of Jordan Peterson, and he's addressing dudes who are finding it so difficult to find somebody of the opposite sex with the urge to merge with them. And Rich, I didn't have that problem, dude. I didn't have that problem. I'm not bragging, but I never had that problem. It's like, why am I forlorn? You know, why I'm nobody's pulling my dance ticket.
Nobody's picking me. Yeah, you want to listen to the clip?
Let's play it. So you got the clip, okay?
I got the clip.
All right, listen.
I would say to young men who are irritated at women is, if you're irritated at women, you know, as a class of creature, there's something wrong with you because they're right. You're wrong. They're right to not pick you. If they're not picking you, it's because they're right. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but what you have to understand is that, what do you expect from women? If you got pregnant because you had sex, you'd be pretty damn choosy too. So, you know, clue in a bit. And then, well, don't they find you attractive? Well, maybe you're not. Like, have you paid attention to how you dress? Do you have a plan? Are you as educated as you could be? You know, are you a liar? Are you a rabid pornography user? If you were better, you'd be more successful with women.
What do you think about that? Dude, that's spot on.
Are you going to clean your room? The reason why women don't like you is your room's dirty.
Yeah, you know, I think it's crazy. I mean, if people don't know who Jordan Peterson is, then they aren't paying attention. He's the world's leading psychologist, and the guy's amazing. His insights, and I like it because he doesn't claim Christianity, but he breaks down a lot of things about what it means to be a Christian. I think that's pretty interesting. And he's talking about men, and Jordan Peterson, one of his core values is he does not lie. He will not lie. And if it hurts your feelings, that's okay. He's gonna tell the truth, you know. And so I like what he
did with the when Sports Illustrated was foisting upon us that, yeah, you see this massively, rabidly obese chick. Well, she's beautiful also, and he's like, no, she's not. That's horrible. You know, we shouldn't be promoting, you know, again, rank obesity as, you know, well, that's just an alternative lifestyle, and we need to celebrate them.
Unhealthy.
She's gonna be freaking dead of a heart attack, and you know, in the next 30 days, her heart's this big, and it's got to freaking circulate blood and oxygen around a body that's the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. Not healthy, not pretty, not sexy. And then the next thing you know, it's like, we need to cancel you from Twitter. You're the devil, Jordan Peterson.
Well, that's crazy because, look, man, a model is a model. They're there to be a model. Look up the definition of the word model. I am not going to be on the cover of any magazines as a model. It doesn't bother me. I'm good with it. But you know what? We don't have to go, well, we're all equal. We all have to take turns being on the cover of a magazine.
No,
Stupid,
we don't.
and people are lying. They're just straight out lying. Like Lizzo, you know, Lizzo, she's gross. And she's like, look at me. It's like, well, you're not covering your body because there's not enough clothes in the universe. You're disgusting. You're not sexy, and you're unhealthy. And people are like, yeah, well, it's about health. And well, it's also about how you look, and you look gross. Look, man, lose some weight, or accept this, Doug. I'm not a model. Maybe somebody has a health issue, a real issue that they can't lose weight. Okay, but don't try to make me put you on the cover of a magazine as a model, right? Then you have Jordan Peterson on the flip side. Why are men irritated with women? Because they don't like them. Well, there are reasons that people don't like you. It's not because you're so awesome. There's real reasons. One of them is maybe you're not attractive. Now, people think, Well, that's a terrible thing to say. If you are not attractive and you don't know it, you're absolutely an unconscious human being. So, okay, so what am I supposed to do if I'm unattractive? Make some money, bro. Have you seen the ultra rich dudes hanging out with models? If you're not attractive, do some other things. Become successful. Maybe not making millions, but why don't you become successful? Why don't you become funny? Why don't you become smart? Why don't you become an interesting person? You know what? If girls don't like you, it's because you're not a good man.
Hello.
Boom. Boom.
There's this one of the prettiest girls I've ever met and stuff, and back at Texas Tech, aside from Mary Margaret, and so we parted ways, and we've got a mutual friend that said, "Hey, did you see so and so?" It's like, "No, how's so and so doing?" It's like, "Ah, she's doing great." And I go, "Did she ever get married?" And said, "Yeah." It's like, "Who'd she marry?" And she married this portly, not Brad Pitt looking type dude who is a doctor, and he's got a very specialized field of medicine that he got into. And you know what? I was thinking, that's perfect, because
that's right.
Even though she's a total smoke show, Rich. I mean, just a gorgeous, gorgeous girl. And but she wasn't insubstantial. She didn't buy into her beauty and all the fopness and vanity, and she was a real good human being that just happened to hit the pick six genetic lotto.
Right.
And then who she ended up marrying, it's like, that makes complete and total sense.
Absolutely.
That's a good, accomplished person. But again, if he walked into the room, we wouldn't pay him no never mind, because look, there's Chris Hemsworth.
Right. It's funny, Doug. I don't walk into a room and women go, "Oh my God, I can't wait to talk to that guy." I'm 5'7". I'm not tall. I'm 230. I'm square. I'm a square person. You've seen me before, Doug, but some people have not seen me if they listen to the podcast. And
you're SpongeBob SquarePants, man.
Yeah, man, I'm as square as they get. But I'll tell you what, when I was younger, I would hang out with guys, and I had friends that were like really good looking, and they attracted the girls, and that was great because they came over and then they went out.
You went home with them.
They went out with me, Doug. You want to know
Right.
why? Because of the content of the person, of the character, of what do you have to offer? Because some people are very good looking, but they don't offer anything like that, past that, and that's a shallow person, right? You can't, within reason, I mean, you can try to make yourself look better. You can be clean, you can get a good haircut, you can wear fitted and nice clothes, and, there's all the things that we can do to make ourselves the best that we can, and we should. We've talked about that. But there are things that are under your control.
Yeah.
Work on those things.
Yeah. Shore them up, man. Be committed to excellence. Be a provider, protector, hunter, and hero. That has nothing. That has nothing to do with, are you 6 foot and do you have hazel eyes and blonde hair? Has nothing to do with that. Well,
Doug, I'm 5'7", 230 with brown eyes and brown hair, but I'll tell you what, I kick your ass. You know what I'm saying?
It's a whole lot of love there, brother. It's a whole lot of love.
I'll whoop somebody, Doug.
Yeah. So as you know, I was in Miami last week or 2 weeks ago, and lived there for 20 years. And so we're driving down Ocean Drive, going to Hulliver Marina to launch out and fish with my buddy, Captain Gavitt Tuttle for backformore.com. You're welcome, Gavitt. And
I also went fishing with him because you hooked me up with him. He is a great guy.
Yeah, he's again, everybody's like, "So who do you fish down there?" It's like, my brother for the last 20 years. Yep. That's who. So anyway, seeing a lot of young people. We had dinner at the restaurant that you and I ate, the Porterhouse there in Sunny Isles. That's right on the beach. Smoke cigars, eat dinner, have drinks. And young people start walking by, Rich, and the guys. So the Miami's got. I think Miami is one of the top spots for the most beautiful women in the world. I mean, just absolute, just knockout. They're just walking by, and it's like, Even the homely ones are like, yeah, you're pretty, you know. And the young males, though, Rich, not so much. Not so much. So you got these beautiful 20-something chicks, and even the like 60-year-old women there. It's just like, man, you are taking care of yourself. And then all of a sudden, here come, the 20-something young males.
Yeah,
Dude, if I was a single chick, and I was hoping and scoping, I wouldn't be looking at their dumb ass, because there's nothing about them. The vast majority of them that we saw, at least for that little 5-hour snippet, and not that I'm shopping for a 20-something young man or anything like that, but if I was a chick, I was like, no, I'm not interested. You're not interesting to me. You got a weird haircut. You're wearing a tank top. You doesn't look like you've worked out, in the last decade.
Look like you've been on the same street as a gym.
Exactly. And then it's like, I don't know why, man, that, the girl, you got eye posture. You don't know how to talk to people. And, you look in the scripture, King David, he didn't have a problem with the ladies. He goes out there
and he was
a teenager.
Small.
He's a ruddy teen. And said he was handsome and stuff, but he had the cojones to throw a rock at a giant that had pretty much cowed everybody in Israel and their dog, including Saul and all his mighty men.
And David's giant big brother.
Yeah, and then David goes out there and does it, and then you've got 10,000 chicks singing his praises. He's got the pick of the litter. And again, the point is because he was a warrior who took responsibility. He's the only dude that mentioned of all of his brothers that actually worked. He's not standing in a line to become king. He's taking care of his old man's sheep. And when Goliath needed to be sorted out, he did it. And again, that is attractive to females.
That's right. And it doesn't have to be just looks. Looks matter, right? And like we said, you can control your looks to some extent. But you know what? You can control your education. You can control your career.
Yep.
Maybe you're not going to be a millionaire, but you know what? You can get out there and hustle and be a provider. That's a real thing, right? You could be a person who tells the truth. Jordan Peterson talked about that. He said, are you a liar? People hate liars. If you meet somebody and in a conversation, they're lying, nobody wants to hang out with that person, and no one definitely wants to marry that person. Are you a person that you live on porn? I mean, that's what he's talking about, excessive use of porn. There's so many guys that do that because of the effort that's required in courting. And I'm not talking about as a Christian. You obviously shouldn't be involved in pornography. You also shouldn't be having sex with women. But I'm talking that you're not married to. But I'm talking about when you have people that would rather watch porn than put forth the effort that it takes to engage with a woman, to land a woman that would be interested in having sex with you, and then go through the effort that's required to make them want to have sex with you again. Right. Not that you showed up for the first time and that's it, you're out, but somebody that you want to marry. Look, if you're over here hanging out in pornography, you're not dealing with real life. You're a low power, you are a beta male. That's not the way that you live your life. That's not something that attracts women. And so if you want to attract women, go out there and be somebody that lives in a way that attracts women. Don't get mad at them because they don't like you. Brush your teeth. I like what you
yeah, get an alarm clock,
Yeah.
I think anything that and this is like, thank you, Captain Obvious. I think anything that Christ tells a young man to do that pushes him into the fray to be a godly young man of God, then boom, you're gonna be very attractive.
That's right.
You're gonna have chicks coming out of the woodwork. If you're sacrificial, if you're bold, if you're if you're loving God with all your mind, and like Peterson said, you can, and like you pointed out, there's a ton of stuff, young squire, that you can frickin' do. That if you had say that you were like Jesus and you weren't the most handsome boy in school and stuff, I guarantee that the girls would probably stack up for Christ too.
Yep.
Even though he didn't.
And if you want to know what to do and what not to do, Proverbs literally says, "Hey, young men, this book's written for you, so you know what to do. Don't be dumb. Don't act like an idiot. Do the right things.
Right.
Here's a book written for you. Anybody who has especially teenage sons, and if you're discipling any young men, have them read a proverb a day according to the date. And if they miss the last 4, then start on today's date and just read a proverb for the day, and you will get that into your thinking. You will understand how a fool lives, and you won't be that. And you'll understand how a man of God lives, and you will be that. And like Doug, like what you're saying, that will make you more attractive. I remember, this is crazy. Before I got saved, we had talked about this before, the Holy Spirit was drawing me, and I was making decisions that I didn't really understand. So I had decided that I was going to start going to church for whatever reason. And so my thinking was I'll only get drunk during the week and on Friday night, but on Saturday night, I'm only drinking beer, and I got to go home by midnight because I'm going to go to church on Sunday. Now, I know Christians, I'm not saying that's a pattern for living. I wasn't saved. The Lord was drawing me, and that was the decision I made. Here's the weird thing that happened, Doug.
That sounds like my week anyway, man.
So I would go to bars, and I'd be hanging out, drinking a beer, and girls would say, hey, want to do a shot? And I'd be like, nah. They're like, why? I said, well, I'm just drinking beer tonight. I'm getting ready to go home in a little while because I'm going to church in the morning. Doug, not kidding. Every time they're like, what? You go to church? This is chicks at a bar. And I was in my early 20s. They're like, you go to church? I'm like, yeah, I go. I just hang out. I go there with my family. And they're like, oh, I want to go to church sometime. And I'm thinking, I don't want you to go to church. I'm on my own thing. I'm trying to hang out with you. But then that actually became a tool so I could date more girls. But then I also made I know it was the devil, right? Like I was trying to. And then something else that happened is I made up my mind, I will not have sex with another woman until I'm in love with her. And that obviously that's not what Christ says, not what the Bible says, but I was on this weird path, right, where God was drawing me. I wasn't saved. I didn't think I was saved. And so as soon as I started telling girls I'm not sleeping with anybody that I'm not in love with, they all try to be in love with me. So I'm telling you, man, and I'm not trying to give you tips and tricks on how to bang chicks. That's not what this podcast is about. I'm trying to tell you that godliness is attractive to women. If you want to be a man of God, you're going to find that you will be more attractive. And you do need to shore up the other areas. You still need to take care of your health. You need to take care of your education. Like Doug said, you need to be a provider. You need to be a protector. You need to be a hunter. You need to be a hero. Girls will come.
Yeah, Rich, in regards to the providing aspect, I don't know if this couple was married or not, but me and a buddy, we were down at this local restaurant that's a great watering hole for this area, and I'm sitting there and we're having a meeting, and I'm watching while I'm talking to my amigo. I'm watching this couple, good-looking girl, typical Texas cowboy with her. He's got his freaking head buried in the phone, and it's the entire lunch, man, just head buried in the phone, and she's looking at the sky, she's looking at other people. Yep. I made eye contact with her, and I kind of shrugged my shoulders, and she shrugged her shoulders too. And then the bill came, and I was like, oh no, man. She grabbed the bill and paid it, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. Whoa. And even if that was her brother, listen, brother, don't treat other human beings like that. Engage in conversation, unless you're making millions of dollars or watching your baby born on FaceTime or something like that because your wife's international and you can't be there for some odd reason. Yep. And frickin' peel your face away from the phone. And again, if it was my sister's not going to buy lunch. My sister's not going to buy dinner. Right. I'm going to frickin' buy it.
Of course.
Know? And it's just weird, dude.
You were talking about Miami, and I was in Miami with Annie a month ago or so, and we were staying in South Beach, beautiful hotel there, beautiful pool, tons of beautiful people, really awesome place. And so I'm in the pool, standing by the side of the pool, and by the edge, and I have a cigar in my hand, a drink in my hand, and Annie's sitting there, and she's beautiful, she's sitting there with the drink and just enjoying the sun, and I'm standing in the pool next to her, and this young guy comes by that works there, really, really nice looking young guy, right? And he walks by and he sees her and he takes his eyes away from her and he looks at me and he smiles and he walks up to me and he leans down to fist bump me and he goes, "Respect, sir. That's all I want to say." And he walked by and I was like, "Look, man, That guy's 100 times better looking than me. He sees my wife, who's beautiful. He sees me, and he doesn't think, I wonder why she's with him. You know what? There's a lot of reasons why she's with me. And he respected that. He saw it. You know what? You don't have to be a model. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have, go and be a man. Be who God's called you to be, and be a man that your wife or a potential mate would respect and that other people respect.
Bro, especially in this day and age, jeez, you'll stand out like a sore thumb. You'll have to beat the girls off with a frickin' stick. If you are under Christ's governance, a provider, protector, hunter, and hero, no kidding, classic traditional male pipe-hitting nut cutter, you're going to have them lining up, just like they did for David. And it's not like, why this and why that? It's like, you're going to start taking numbers. You're going to be like, who's the dude that Esther queued up to marry? What was the king's name? He had yeah, I don't know, Xerxes or whatever.
Oh, Xerxes. Yeah, I was going to say Ahasuerus. Wrong.
Again, there was no
His
shortage.
wife's name was Vashti. She got kicked out.
Rich, I don't think there's no shortage of righteous and rowdy girls that are out there. What there is a shortage of is men who would be men, young men.
That's right.
So anyway, I think we solved the problem.
We did. Don't be a beta millennial little wuss blaming women because they don't like you.
Yeah.
Be a biblical man.
Word.
Yeah.
All right. So aside from that incredible podcast and the wisdom that we just conveyed upon our staggering audience of tens of millions of people, what else should the Warrior and Wildmen listener do?
They need to go to warriorsandwildmen.com, subscribe, it's free. Send you a couple emails a week, let you know what's happening. Also, if you want to support the ministry, hit the war chest. It's tax deductible. We'll send you the information on that. For those that are doing it, you guys rock. Warriors and Wildmen out.